Warning: this reading contains subject matters that may be disturbing or distressing to many. The Balcony. Written by Scriptsinger. Chapter 1. The Jump. A few months had passed since Scriptsinger had attempted suicide. She still struggled with her depression and poisonous thoughts, but managed to get through with her life. She didn't want to go to the hospital, but Lotus Moon convinced her to get some help. She ended up going to the ER to get stitches due to the cuts on her wrist, and that was pretty much it, other than being supervised at home constantly. She finished up her final year at Canterlot High and ended up making a friend in one of her new classes. Her name was Emerald Shine. She had long curled auburn hair, tied up in a ponytail, and light yellow skin. Emerald was always fascinated by jewels and diamonds, so she wanted to become a geologist so she could study more about her passion. Emerald was keeping a secret from Script, something she would never tell anyone. She couldn't, at risk of losing a dear friend. One day, Script and Emerald were at the beach, watching the 4th of July evening fireworks show. Emerald mostly stared at the ground. Script noticed and put her hand on her shoulder. "Hey, you alright?" Script asked. Emerald nodded slightly. "You know that if you ever need to talk, I'm here, okay?" Her friend only nodded once more. They watched the show a little longer until Emerald got up.
"I gotta go,"
she uttered.
"Thanks for everything, Script."
"Oh, well, have a good night. I'll see you tomorrow?" Emerald turned around and walked away without a response. Script felt a little concerned, but she figured she was probably overreacting. She turned around and continued watching the fireworks show. A few minutes later, Script wanted to go take some pictures with her camera so she could work on her photography skills. She grabbed her backpack, trying to find her camera, but she didn't see it there. "I must have left it at Emerald's house. I better go and get it," she thought. Script got up and walked over to her friend's house, knocking on the door before coming in case anyone was there. The door was locked, so Script grabbed the spare key her friend gave her. Script walked in, not bothering to turn on the light since she would only be there for a moment, grabbing the camera off the table. She noticed the brightness of the fireworks outside. She turned her head, noticing the fireworks display. "Hey, you can see the fireworks from here!" She noticed her friend Emerald on the balcony, hiding in front of the curtains blowing through the wind. "Oh, so that's where she went," Script thought. "She must have wanted to watch them at home. Wait, what is she doing?" She noticed her friend climbing over the banister and onto the edge of the balcony. Script put down the camera on the table and walked over to the door into the room. She watched as her friend continued to climb over the edge. "Emerald, what are you doing?" Script uttered, but Emerald didn't respond as she took one foot off the ledge. "Oh, Faust!" Script gasped as her heart dropped into the pit of her stomach. Script ran towards the door. "Em, don't do it!" she screamed. She ran into the dark room, hitting her leg on the small table. She grunted in pain as she hit the floor, staggering slightly to get back onto her feet. She watched as her friend walked off the edge, rushing to her. Script lunged over the edge, grabbing Emerald's hand as she tried to jump off. Script tripped slightly at the sudden weight, not used to holding someone up. Script stared into her friend's eyes, filled with tears. Emerald! Why?" she grunted, struggling to hold her up. "Why did you try to do this to yourself?" Emerald only stared at her with tears in her eyes as her friend tried to save her from her fate.
"Of all the people in the world, why would she want to save me? I'm worth nothing to anyone."
Emerald thought.
"If she ever found out the truth, she'd want nothing to do with me ever again."
Script's palms grew slightly sweaty as she held on to her friend. "Emerald, grab on! I'm slipping!" she cried. "Please, grab onto the ledge!" Script watched as her friend's hands was slowly slipping from her grasp. She held on tighter, refusing to let go without a fight. Script started crying too, in fear of losing a friend she held dear. She felt like Emerald was the only person who truly understood her. Script shut her eyes tight as she began saying a silent prayer. "God, please give me the strength I need, even if it's only a little." Script thought to herself. "Please, I promise I'll stop avoiding my problems. I'll talk to people more, seek help, go to whoever I have to. Just please help me save her. Starting tomorrow, I'll look for those who need help. I'll listen to my friend's advice. I'll do the job right. Just please let Emerald live. Emerald, I can't hold on to you much longer. Scripps struggled to keep holding the weight as her friend slowly lifted her arm, pulling herself up. Scripps pulled as hard as she could, her feet lifting off the ground slightly as she pulled herself over the edge to get her friend to safety. Come on, Emerald! Don't give up yet! Scripps' hand slipped off the edge and lost her grasp on her friend. She found herself falling down the balcony into a small pond below. Emerald turned around, trying to grab her hand, but missed as she watched her friend descend into her darkness.
Scripsinger!
She cried as Scripps screamed all the way down, and was silenced by the collision of the water. Everything was silent other than the sound of the water splashing and fireworks. Emerald pulled herself over the balcony and rushed downstairs, calling her friends for help. When she got down to the pond, she found Scripsinger motionless with blood floating up from the water. Everything feels so cold.